Picture this. It's January 2nd. You're standing in a brand new 24-hour gym franchise you just opened. The floor is packed. 30 people on treadmills. Every squat rack occupied. The group fitness studio has a wait list. New members are signing contracts at the front desk, $29.99 per month, 12-month commitment, $99 enrollment fee. You're signing up 220 new members this month. That's $6,600 in monthly recurring revenue plus $21,780 in enrollment fees. You run the numbers in your head. If this pace continues, you'll have 1,500 members by June paying $45,000 monthly. Your facility cost $800,000 to build and equip. At this rate, you'll break even in 22 months. The business model is perfect. Everyone needs fitness. Health club memberships are aspirational purchases that make people feel good about themselves. You're selling hope, transformation, and self-improvement for the cost of 2 lattes per week. No inventory to manage. No complex supply chains. Just equipment that lasts 7 years, a clean facility, and motivated members improving their lives. This is the dream that makes entrepreneurs spend $1.2 million opening gyms in strip malls across America. This is what the franchise sales deck promised you when they showed you the unit economics. Here's what they didn't show you. By March, half of those January sign-ups will stop coming. By June, 67% will have visited 0 times in the past month, but they'll still be paying. And that's not a bug in your business model. That's the entire business model. A gym is not a fitness business. It's a subscription arbitrage operation where profitability depends on selling more memberships than your facility can physically accommodate, knowing that 60% to 80% of paying members will never show up during peak hours. The actual fitness service, the equipment, the classes, the training, those exist to justify the monthly charge and provide plausible deniability that you're running a legitimate service business rather than a statistical bet on human psychology and failed New Year's resolutions. You're not hoping people use your gym. You're structurally dependent on them not using it. Your facility has 150 pieces of cardio and strength equipment. At capacity, you can serve maybe 180 people simultaneously during peak hours. But you have 2,400 active paying members. If even 30% of your members showed up during the same 2-hour evening window, you'd have 720 people competing for 180 stations. The facility would be unusable. Members would quit. Your business would collapse. Your business model requires that you sell 8 to 15 memberships for every person who can actually use your facility at peak times. You survive because 67% of members visit less than once per week. You profit because 42% of members never cancel despite visiting 0 times per month. The economics only work when you understand that gyms are not selling fitness outcomes. They're selling the feeling of future fitness, and the gap between aspiration and action is where $32 billion in annual US gym revenue lives. Once you understand that, everything else makes sense. Let's start with what it takes to open a mid-sized gym franchise like Planet Fitness, Anytime Fitness, or Crunch. Total investment runs $800,000 to $2.5 million depending on size, location, and build-out requirements. Franchise fees hit you first. Initial franchise fee, $20,000 to $50,000 for the right to use the brand and systems. This is non-refundable. Then there's the real estate. You need 8,000 to 25,000 square feet in a location with strong traffic counts and visible signage. Lease costs run $18 to $42 per square foot annually depending on market. A 15,000 square foot space at $28 per square foot is $420,000 annually or $35,000 monthly before you buy a single dumbbell. Build-out and construction costs are brutal. You're not just renting space, you're converting it into a gym. Flooring rated for heavy equipment, $6 to $12 per square foot. Mirrors, lighting, FAC upgrades, locker rooms, showers, $80 to $150 per square foot for total build-out. A 15,000 square foot facility at $110 per square foot is $1,650,000 in construction before equipment. Before we get to the revenue model, there's a cost almost nobody budgets for: a membership acquisition costs during ramp-up. You need 800 to 1,200 members to hit break-even. In month 1, you have 0. It takes 12 to 18 months to build to break-even membership levels. During that ramp period, you're spending $25,000 to $45,000 monthly on staffing, rent, utilities, and marketing while revenue is insufficient to cover costs. That's $300,000 to $540,000 in cumulative losses before you achieve positive cash flow. Equipment costs run $300,000 to $600,000 for a fully equipped facility. Treadmills, $3,000 to $8,000 each. Ellipticals, $2,500 to $6,000. Weight machines, $2,000 to $5,000 per station. Free weights, benches, racks, mats, and accessories, $80,000 to $150,000. This equipment depreciates over 7 to 10 years and requires constant maintenance and replacement. Technology and software add $40,000 to $80,000 in initial costs. Membership management software, check-in systems, payment processing, security cameras, access control, $25,000 to $50,000 initial setup plus $2,500 to $4,500 monthly in software subscriptions and payment processing fees. Staffing is where ongoing costs accumulate. A 15,000 square foot gym needs a general manager, $45,000 to $65,000 annually, 2 to 4 front desk staff, $28,000 to $35,000 each, cleaning crew, and possibly personal trainers if you offer that service. Total annual payroll, $150,000 to $280,000. Add payroll taxes and benefits and you're at $180,000 to $320,000 annually in labor costs. Add it up. Franchise fee, $35,000. Build out, $1,650,000. Equipment, $450,000. Technology, $60,000. Pre-opening and ramp-up capital, $400,000. Total investment, $2,595,000. You are opening a gym, not a coffee shop. The capital requirement is massive, and you're betting that enough people will pay monthly for a service they don't use to generate returns that justify this investment. Most people who fail here don't fail for dramatic reasons. They fail because of 3 traps that gym franchise sales presentations never mention. The first trap is peak capacity constraint vs. membership overselling. You build financial projections assuming 2,000 members paying $32 monthly generate $64,000 in monthly revenue. Your facility can accommodate 200 people at peak hours, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. weekdays. If your no-show rate drops from 70% to 50%, maybe because you actually deliver great service and people love coming, you now have 1,000 active users competing for 200 peak hour slots. Wait times for equipment hit 15 to 25 minutes. Member satisfaction collapses. Complaints spike. Cancellations accelerate. Your utilization rate increased, but your business is failing because you sold more memberships than your infrastructure can support. You're penalized for succeeding at fitness outcomes. The second trap is seasonal revenue volatility and the January mirage. January membership sales are 3 to 5 times higher than June through November. You sign 340 members in January, 290 in February, then 95 in March, 68 in April. By summer, you're signing 40 to 60 monthly. Your financial projections assumed linear growth. Reality is extreme seasonality. Worse, January members have the highest cancellation rates. Of the 340 January signups, 180 will cancel within 6 months. You built your staffing and cost structure assuming January revenue continues. By August, you're burning $18,000 monthly because you overhired for a seasonal spike that doesn't repeat until next January. The third trap is contract enforcement failure and soft cancellation rates. Your membership agreements are 12-month contracts. Legally, members owe you 12 months of payments even if they stop attending. But actually collecting is different. Members call to cancel. Your staff is supposed to enforce the contract and charge early termination fees. But front desk employees making $14 per hour don't want confrontation. They let members cancel informally or freeze their memberships indefinitely. Your effective cancellation rate is 6% monthly instead of the 3.5% your model assumed. Over 12 months, that gap costs you $110,000 in lost revenue you thought was contractual guaranteed. Your contracts are only as enforceable as your willingness to be the villain who charges people trying to escape a gym they don't use. Here's the part that changes how you see this entire business. Gyms make money on the gap between membership revenue and actual facility usage costs, and that gap only exists because of human behavioral failure. Monthly membership revenue is the foundation. A mid-sized gym with 1,800 active members at $34.99 average monthly dues generates $62,982 in monthly recurring revenue or $755,784 annually. But not all members pay the same amount. You have promotional pricing, first month free, $10 per month for the first year, senior discounts. Your blended average is $30 to $36 monthly depending on promotional mix. Ancillary revenue adds 15% to 25% on top of membership dues. Personal training sessions at $45 to $80 each. Tanning bed access at $15 monthly. Locker rentals, smoothie bars, retail merchandise. A well-run gym generates $9,000 to $16,000 monthly in ancillary revenue. Total monthly revenue, $72,000 to $79,000. Now subtract costs. Rent, $35,000 monthly. Labor, $22,000 monthly. Utilities, gyms are energy intensive with FAC, lighting, showers running 18 hours daily, $6,500 monthly. Equipment maintenance and replacement reserve, $4,000 monthly. Cleaning supplies and janitorial, $2,800 monthly. Insurance, $2,200 monthly. Marketing and member acquisition, $6,000 monthly. Software and payment processing, $3,200 monthly. Miscellaneous, $2,500 monthly. Total monthly operating costs, $84,200. You're losing money. At $76,000 monthly revenue against $84,200 costs, you're negative $8,200 per month or $98,400 annually. Now we get to the number that actually determines everything, membership count relative to break even. To generate $84,200 in monthly revenue at $35 average dues, you need 2,406 paying members. But your facility can only handle 250 to 300 simultaneous users at peak capacity. You need to sell 8 to 10 memberships for every person who can physically fit in your gym during peak hours. This only works if members don't come. Your model requires 67% to 72% of members to visit less than 4 times monthly. If that percentage drops to 55%, if people actually start using their memberships, your facility becomes overcrowded, service quality deteriorates. And you enter a death spiral where active users quit due to crowding while inactive users start attending, making overcrowding worse. The business model is built on statistical behavioral failure. You're betting that humans will, 1. Overestimate their future gym usage when signing up, 2. Experience guilt about wasting money, which delays cancellation, 3. Face psychological friction in the cancellation process, contracts, fees, phone calls, 4. Maintain memberships for 8 to 14 months despite attending 0 times in months for through 12. These numbers are based on industry averages and should be treated as a framework for thinking, not a guarantee of any particular outcome. But the structural reality is clear: if everyone who paid actually showed up, gyms would collapse. Let's talk about Town Sports International, the parent company of New York Sports Club, Boston Sports Club, and several other regional chains. Town Sports operated over 185 clubs across the Northeast and had been in business since 1973. In 2020, Town Sports filed for bankruptcy with $403 million in debt. What killed them? The pandemic exposed the fundamental fragility of the gym business model. When COVID-19 hit and gyms were forced to close, members couldn't attend. Normally, that's ideal, you collect dues without providing service. But state emergency orders allowed members to cancel without penalty. Suddenly, the 68% of members who were paying but not attending had legal permission to stop paying. Monthly revenue collapsed by 74% while fixed costs, leases, equipment loans, corporate overhead, remained. Within 4 months, Town Sports was bankrupt. This is not a story about a pandemic. This is a story about a business model that only works when members are contractually obligated to pay for a service they don't use and cannot easily escape. Now take Planet Fitness, the most successful gym franchise in America with over 18 million members across 400+ locations. Planet Fitness succeeded by optimizing for the non-user. Their model, $10 to $25 monthly memberships with no contracts required, though they offer 12-month contracts for discounts. No intimidation. No judgment. Lunk alarm to prevent bodybuilders from grunting. Free pizza on Mondays. Bagels on Tuesdays. Planet Fitness understood something critical: the ideal gym member is someone who wants to feel like a gym person without actually becoming a gym person. They removed every friction point that makes non-exercisers uncomfortable, intimidating equipment, aggressive trainers, judgment from fit people. They made the gym a safe, non-threatening environment where inactive people feel comfortable maintaining memberships indefinitely. Planet Fitness's average member visits 2.1 times per month. Their locations average 500+ members per club. A typical Planet Fitness has capacity for 200 people at peak times. They're selling 32+ memberships per peak hour capacity slot. It works because 81% of members visit less than twice weekly. They've industrialized the business model of monetizing aspiration without delivering transformation. Here's what the smartest operators in this industry do differently. They don't just sell memberships and hope people don't come. They monetize every aspect of the guilt motivation abandonment cycle. First, personal training packages sold upfront during enrollment. New members are emotionally vulnerable during sign-up. They're motivated, hopeful, and willing to spend. Sell them a 20-session personal training package for $900 to $1,600 during enrollment. Take payment immediately. Most members use 4 to 8 sessions then stop scheduling. You keep the money. Unused personal training sessions generate pure profit. Gyms doing this aggressively add $120,000 to $280,000 annually in upfront training revenue, with 35% to 50% of sessions going unused. Second, premium membership tiers with underutilized amenities. Offer a $59.99 black card tier with access to tanning, hydro massage, guest privileges, and access to all locations. These amenities cost you $4 to $8 per member monthly, but most premium members never use them. You're charging $30 more monthly for services that cost you $6 and 68% of premium members never use. Premium tiers add $18,000 to $35,000 monthly with minimal incremental cost. Third, corporate wellness partnerships and group memberships. Contract with local employers to offer subsidized memberships to their employees. Employer pays $18 per employee monthly for gym access. You get 250 new members from one corporate contract. Employee usage rates are even lower than retail members, average 1 point for visits per month because they didn't choose the gym themselves. Corporate partnerships add $60,000 to $150,000 annually in high-margin, low-utilization revenue. Fourth, freezing fees and reactivation charges. Members who want to pause their membership for travel, injury, or summer vacation pay $8 to $12 monthly to keep their membership frozen. They're paying you to not provide service while also not allowing them to use the service. Reactivation fees of $25 to $40 hit members who froze, cancelled, or went delinquent. These administrative fees add $24,000 to $45,000 annually in pure margin. Here is the honest math, not the pitch deck version, the real version. Good year scenario. Your 15,000 square foot gym in a strong suburban market achieves 2,200 active paying members at $36.50 average monthly dues. Monthly membership revenue, $80,300. Ancillary revenue, training, retail, fees $14,200. Total monthly revenue, $94,500. Operating costs, rent $35,000, labor $24,000, utilities $7,000, equipment and maintenance $4,500, marketing $5,500, insurance and admin $6,800. Total costs, $82,800. Monthly profit, $11,700 or $140,400 annually. On a $2.1 million total investment, that's a 6.7% return. Decent but not spectacular. Bad year scenario. A new Orange Theory and a Crunch Fitness open within 2 miles of your location. Member acquisition costs spike from $65 to $140 per new member as you compete for attention. Your monthly new member sign-ups drop from 95 to 48. Cancellations increase from 3.8% to 5.6% monthly as members have more options. Your membership base erodes from 2,200 to 1,750 over 8 months. Monthly revenue, $63,875, $1,750 members at $36.50. Ancillary revenue drops to $10,400. Total revenue, $74,275. Your costs don't compress proportionally. You can't reduce rent or eliminate staff. Costs drop slightly to $78,500, reduced marketing spend, smaller cleaning contract. You're losing $4,225 monthly or $50,700 annually. Stay with this because the final calculation changes everything. The gap between these scenarios is $191,100 in annual profit, driven entirely by membership count, which is controlled by competitive dynamics and local market saturation you cannot control. One well-funded competitor opening 1.3 miles away can destroy your profitability within 12 months. You built a business model dependent on being the most convenient option in a limited geographic radius, and that moat is fragile. The person who wins in this business is not the most passionate about fitness or the best at training clients. The person who wins understands they're running a subscription retention operation where the ideal customer pays indefinitely while visiting infrequently, and the entire business model depends on delaying cancellation through psychological friction and contractual obligation. They're ruthless about enforcing contracts. They train staff to make cancellation difficult, require in-person visits, enforce 30-day notice periods, charge early termination fees without exception. They understand that every percentage point reduction in monthly churn is worth $28,000 to $45,000 annually. They also optimize facility design for capacity appearance, not actual usage. They make the gym look busy and energetic with strategically placed mirrors, bright lighting, and high-visibility cardio equipment near windows. But they keep just enough equipment to handle peak capacity at 65% utilization, ensuring it never feels empty during off-peak while never being adequate if everyone showed up. They master the New Year sales cycle. They hire additional sales staff in December, run aggressive January promotions, and capture 40% to 55% of annual new memberships in a 10-week window. They know February and March will be slow. They know most January members will fade by April. They're harvesting the aspiration spike and locking people into 12-month contracts. Here's the counterintuitive truth: the best gym owners are not the ones who transform the most lives or create the most fitness success stories. They're the ones who've mastered the art of selling sustainable aspiration, memberships that make people feel good about their future selves without requiring actual behavior change. They're selling the idea of fitness, and as long as members believe they'll start going next week, the money keeps flowing. So let's go back to that January 2nd opening with 30 people on treadmills and every squat rack full. The energy is still electric. The memberships are still flowing. But now you see it clearly. Those 220 January signups aren't the foundation of your business. They're a liability if they actually keep coming. Your financial model requires that 147 of them stop attending by March while continuing to pay through December. That wait list for the group fitness class isn't a sign of success, it's a warning that you've undersold your capacity and need to sign more members who won't attend. The gym business isn't about fitness outcomes. It's about subscription management, churn optimization, and monetizing the gap between human aspiration and human behavior. You can build a profitable operation if you master January sales cycles, enforce contracts ruthlessly, and keep your facility just crowded enough to look successful but never so crowded that active users leave. But the fantasy version, the transformative fitness business that helps people achieve their goals and generates healthy returns, that's structurally impossible. What's real is this: you're running a subscription arbitrage scheme where revenue depends on selling 2,400 memberships to a facility that can serve 250 people. And the only reason that math works is because 1,680 of those members will pay for 12 months while attending fewer than 8 times total. You're not hoping they don't come. You're structurally dependent on it. And the moment you forget that human behavioral failure is your actual product, you'll be the one failing instead.